Ever watch a movie or play a game and just feel it? Like really feel it? It's not an accident. It's a language. And today we're going to pull back the curtain and show you how it works. We're going to give you the creator's toolkit.
Seriously, think about that for a second. Why does a scene make your heart race, or make you laugh, or fill you with a sense of wonder, even when it's completely silent? It's because every single thing you see on that screen, every color, every shadow, every object, was put there on purpose. It's all designed to make you feel something.
So here's our game plan. We're going to go on a creator's journey together. First, we'll set the stage, then we'll design the soundscape. After that, we'll make things move. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with the creator's blueprint. You ready? Let's do this.
All right, first stop on our journey, the foundation of everything visual. We're talking about setting the stage. This is where you master the art of what the pros call mise en scène.
Now, mise en scène, it's a fancy French term, right? But all it really means is placing on stage. It's literally everything inside the frame that the audience sees. Think of it as the silent storyteller that clues you in on the genre, the mood, and the whole point of a scene before anyone even says a word.
So, how do you start? You build the world. A medieval castle instantly screams fantasy. A slick modern lab? We're probably in sci-fi territory. Even a small prop can do so much work. A quill pen tells you one thing, a VR headset tells you something completely different. And a costume? Come on, a knight's armor isn't just an outfit, it's a promise of an epic adventure ahead.
And then there's color. Color is basically an emotional cheat code. Creators use warm colors, your reds, oranges, yellows, to dial up feelings of excitement and energy. On the flip side, cool colors like blues and greens can create a sense of calm or maybe even sadness. It's a super fast way to set the entire vibe.
And this right here, this is the answer to our horror movie question. Lighting is everything. High-key lighting is bright, open, with very few shadows. It feels friendly, happy, like a sitcom. But low-key lighting, that's where you get those deep, dark shadows that create instant mystery, tension, and, yeah, fear. You're literally sculpting the mood with light and darkness.
And finally, the creator is basically the puppet master for your eyeballs. They use composition tricks like the rule of thirds to make a shot feel just right. Framing is huge. It decides what you see, but just as important, what you don't see. And of course, the way an actor stands or a subtle look on their face can tell you a whole novel's worth of story without a single line of dialogue.
Okay, so we've built our visual world. It looks incredible, but it's completely silent. It's kind of creepy, right? So now it's time to make it heard. Let's design the sound. Audio is so much more than just the soundtrack. It's every sound. The dialogue, that little whoosh when you get an email, the satisfying click of a button in an app. All of it works together to create a real atmosphere. They say sound is half the experience, and they are not wrong.
I like to think of sound design like building a house. Your foundation? That's the ambient sound. The wind, the distant traffic, the crickets. It makes the world feel real. Then you put in the details, sound effects for every footstep, every door creak. Next, you paint the walls with music to set the mood. Is it tense? Is it epic? And finally, the furniture, the dialogue. That's the heart of the story right there.
And this stuff is super practical. We're not just talking about Hollywood movies. You use sound to pump up the energy in a promo video, to make an app feel responsive, to literally give a character a voice, or to build a totally immersive world in a video game. The right sound always pushes the project's goal forward.
All right, our world looks amazing, and it sounds incredible. There's just one last piece of the puzzle. It's time for the most dynamic step, making it move. Let's breathe some life into this thing with animation.
So what is animation, really? At its core, it's the technique of creating the illusion of movement. But its purpose is massive. You can use it to tell stories that would be impossible to film, to break down a really complex topic, or just to make a cool logo that grabs your attention.
And you've got so many styles to choose from. 2D animation is perfect for explainer videos. Hey, just like this one. 3D is what builds those jaw-dropping worlds in video games and movies. Stop motion gives things like clay or Lego that awesome handmade feel. And motion graphics? That's what makes text and logos pop off the screen.
But here's the big question. How do you control the feel of that movement? The secret sauce is something called frame rate, or frames per second. This one little technical choice totally changes whether your animation feels punchy, cinematic, or buttery smooth.
Let's start with 12 frames per second.
This gives you that classic, kind of jerky, stylized cartoon look. It has a real punch to it. Think old-school animated shorts. It's a great choice for a distinct style.
Now bump it up to 24 frames per second. Ah, that's the magic number. This is the gold standard for movies. It hits that perfect sweet spot where movement looks smooth and natural, giving you that cinematic feel we all know and love. And finally, 30 frames per second. This gives you an even smoother, cleaner look. You see this a lot in digital video and broadcast TV. It just feels really crisp and modern.
Frame rate is the canvas, but these principles are the brush strokes that make movement feel real. Keyframes are your main poses, your point A and point B. Easing is the not a robot button. It makes things speed up and slow down naturally. Timing and spacing control the rhythm and impact. And lip sync, well, that's what convinces us a character is actually talking. It's all these things together that truly create life.
Okay, we've built the stage, we've created the sound, and we've mastered motion. Now for the grand finale. Let's put all of this together into a blueprint you can use for pretty much any creative project.
So here's the big takeaway. Being a great creator isn't just about knowing how to do things. It's about knowing why. You've got to be able to look at a scene, point out the visual elements, and explain what they mean. You need to pick audio for a reason, justify your animation style, and, this is the most important part, you have to tie every single creative choice you make back to the main goal. That's the secret.
Look, we've just decoded the hidden language of media. Mise en scène, sound design, animation. These aren't just buzzwords. They're the real tools you use to communicate, to tell stories, and to make people feel things. We've just handed you the code, so the only question left is, what are you going to create?